Hello guys and welcome to another Era of Chaos video. Guys, today we are talking about the Mage Guild. This is something really important to the game, so I'm going to walk you through every single one of those three sections. We will start with the Magic Guild itself. Basically, in the beginning of the game, you will unlock those, you gain those magic crystals in the underground and in Trial of Angels. Important thing is that at some point Trial of Angels stops giving you the magic crystals. I don't really remember the stage, but I know for sure that once you're at, let's say, 18-1, 19-1, 21, it just doesn't give you those crystals. With that said, let's start with water, fire, air and earth. In the beginning of your game, you have to remember that you need to get all those 4 pages maxed out, because let's see what earth gives you in the end. The mana regeneration of enemy heroes is reduced by 1.5. This is extremely important. You need to have it. Let's say air. The mana regeneration of your hero increases by 1.5. Very important as well. Let's take a look at fire. Enemy hero initial mana is decreased by 20. Water basically does the opposite. Your initial mana is increased by 20. All those 4 things are very important. So you have to make sure that you need to have enough points in order to max water, fire, air and earth. Of course, in the beginning of the game, you won't have that many points. So if you're running Rashka and you wanna go for Zeron later in the game, then it makes sense to max first fire and then proceed with air, earth, water, whatever way you want. If you're running, for example, Somir and then you wanna go Astro, then it makes sense to go first for air. But once you have enough points, you need to max all those 4 pages. This is going to be extremely important. Now, when it comes to the other 3 pages, at around level 90, not quite sure whether it was level 90 or 91, it doesn't really matter, but at around this time you're going to unlock this spellbook, and it has to be maxed out. Why? Because this spellbook will give you advantages against every single hero, it doesn't matter the hero, and it doesn't rely on chance. Let us see. Damage Curse 1. The initial cooldown of enemy hero damage spells increases by 15%. The initial cooldown of enemy hero summon spells increases by 15%, and so on and so forth. And the last perk gives you the cooldown of enemy hero spells increase by 15%, so it is guaranteed. Now, if you're running Zeron as your main hero, in the beginning of the game, before you have unlocked the curse page, it will make sense to invest everything and max out the Master of Summoners, because it gives you something around 30% chance to do double summon, and that can turn the tides of a battle. It is really strong when it works. But after all, it relies on chance. On average, Zeron will trigger his ultimate, depending on the battle. If, let's say it's a difficult battle, probably 3 times, 4 times max, and 20-30% chance may mean that even if this spell triggers, if it triggers too late, then it won't make any difference. So you have to be really lucky, and that's the problem with Master of Summoners. It is very good when it works, but when it doesn't work, it feels like you have invested so much points here and it doesn't really pay off, and that's really bad. And the Elemental is pretty cool. I have invested some points here. For example, the cost of all spells is reduced by 10%, that's pretty cool. Here the spell point cost of all enemy spells is increased by 10%, another pretty cool feature. Now, another thing that I wanted to do here is I wanted to check, because I did the mistake, I'll get to that mistake later, but I will try to remove this. I want my spells to be a little bit, let's say, more expensive, because I made a mistake. And the mistake is, it's a pretty terrible mistake by the way, but I didn't know any better back then, and I just did it. Okay, I totally forget. Yeah, exactly. Now, the magic talents. I unlocked level 10 of Arrows of 4 Elementals, and that's pretty bad, because let's go into battle. I'm going to show you. I will play with my Astro against this guy, and now, no, let's find somebody else. Let's find this guy. Okay, I'm going to lose, but the important thing here is that just pay attention to my spells and what the AI does. The air arrow of Astro, and supposedly this is not really horrible thing for Astro, because the giant can trigger pretty good damage because of the air spell, so it is kind of okay. But just take a look what's going to happen now. He's going to do some ultimates and stuff, and then the moment he gets to 20 mana, he's going to use Magic Arrow. Then he's going to repeat the process, again, and currently at this point I don't have mana for the skill that triggers Magic Awakening. And again, he's doing this stupid magic arrow. And once again, for Astro, it is kind of okay, but if you're running some other hero, it will be really, really bad. For example, for Zeron, it is not really great, and I have to live with that. And the way I'm trying to rectify this is, I will try, of course, some later stage, is by removing this skill. I want my spells to be slightly more expensive. I don't know when it's going to fix it, but I will give it a try. So, lesson learned. Please, guys, do not go here and go to level 10, because it decreases the cooldown of all these arrows, which means that the AI will start spamming them over and over again, and you won't have mana for the important skills. So let's take a look at the next thing in the Magic Guild. This is the spell bookshelf. Actually, we were right here, sorry about that. Now, you unlock mark spells. You need the mark spells in order to be used on your heroes. This is like your fourth or fifth spell. Is it the fifth spell? Sorry, let me check. I completely forgot how many spells. It's a fifth spell, sorry, yeah, the fifth spell. So for certain heroes, certain spells are pretty good. For example, for my Astro, I am using Mirt. It is a pretty cool spell. I'm not quite convinced that it's the best spell for him, but it works kind of okay. And the important thing here is not actually the mark spells themselves. Of course, it is good to have mark spell. The important thing is that you can also gather spells to increase your attack, defense, intelligence, and knowledge. In my opinion, investing into knowledge and intelligence, in a lot of cases, not really that great, unless you're running Sandro, for example. If you're running Zeron, Astro, Dragon Meteor, then it is better to invest in attack and defense. This is the reason why currently, if you go to store, you can see I am buying certain fire-related spells, because I can increase the level, so I can increase the total attack of my heroes. The same I'm doing to water spells. These are my top priority things. First thing, fire. Second thing, water. And of course, from time to time, I am investing in magic talent, even though I don't really need it that much. It would be good to have this thing to level 20, even though it's not really the greatest priority for me. The same thing applies here. I don't even have one character who relies on magic damage. For example, they increase the damage of Infernal Flame, Frost Ring, Storm, Mystic Domain, Blizzard, total damage by 5%. It's not really a great thing for me because I don't rely on this anyway. And if you take a look, the summoning spells, increase attack and HP of summoning, I don't really use summons at all. The only thing that makes sense for me is this one, so I'm gradually increasing its level. Not really the greatest thing, but it's still good. The spell support is very useful for my Astro because I'm using Mirt, and it increases you know, the attack damage, and if I can increase the duration, that would be pretty useful. I didn't mean attack damage, I'm sorry, I meant attack speed. So this one is the only useful thing for me. Destruction Secret, it is kind of okay for my Zeron, but once again, Zeron doesn't really rely on magic damage. It's not really his greatest weapon. So the magic talent, I'm just focusing here, and for some weird reason, I decided to invest here. That was a huge mistake, but there is no coming back, unfortunately for me. So yeah, basically when it comes to the spell bookshelf, it all depends on which of the mark spells that you want to use, and after you have acquired the mark spells that you need, then you can invest in some fire and water spells so that you can increase your attack and defense of your heroes. And the last thing here, I would advise you guys to save this currency, the purple, whatever this is, so when the time comes, you can just purchase a lot of spells for free, especially if the spell that comes is new. For example, you want to have Time Stop as a mark spell. We haven't had it, actually we never had it, and at some point I know that it is coming to Era of Chaos, and the moment it comes, I want to have at least, let's say, 100 or 20, 200 of those, so I can make sure that I'll unlock it at least at level 1. This is a very good mark spell for Astro. Yeah, basically for this part of Mage Guild, I would just advise you to save this purple token. I forgot its name, but the point is you don't have to waste it for nothing. You have to make sure that the orange spell that comes is the one that you need, and if this is the case, then you can spend. Otherwise, just save them and wait for the correct time. Okay guys, this is going to be all from me today. I really hope you found this video useful. See you next time. Take care and stay safe.
Perfect.